When you travel solo at the age of 17 and work as a cabin crew for 6 years up in the sky, you learn to see people differently. You realize that most people do not actually listen to what you have to say, but they just wait to reply. You learn very quickly who is genuine with you and who just wants something from you, and you also learn more about culture and human behavior than any book you could imagine. Today I want to share some lessons that I have learned from being a cabin crew and traveling the world solo very early on, so that you can take this with you. The first one is the power of listening. When I was 17 and I first landed in the States, I thought my English was pretty well, but I quickly realized that it goes beyond just words. You have to understand the slang, the accent, different people from different kind of corners in the world. And like I said, it goes beyond words, it goes beyond vocabulary. It's more about what they're saying and what they mean and how they want you to feel when they say certain things. I had to slow down and really pay attention to what they're saying instead of just trying to answer and having my answer ready immediately. It's okay to just pause, and that's what I actually had to do. I had to pause and think, like, what is this person trying to say? What is this person trying to tell me? Beyond and behind the words that they are sharing with me. It goes way deeper than that. That's the moment I realized that listening is so much more than just waiting for your turn to speak. It's something so much bigger. It's about actually understanding someone. Later as a cabin crew, I had the exact same experience with people. When they would ask me questions and I was answering, they would immediately cut me off mid-sentence because they thought they knew what I was going to say. Most people do not listen. They're just waiting for you to finish your sentence so they could immediately give their opinion, give their feedback, give their experience, share their experience. But the people that were listening and that were giving me the opportunity to speak my opinion and to speak my truth before they answer were actually kinder, so much more respectful, and also way easier to help from my point of view. That's a lesson that actually followed me throughout the years. If you want to have better relationships, fewer arguments, better or stronger bonds with people, slow down and actually pay attention to what the other person is saying. The second one is spotting genuine people. When I was 21, I went backpacking in South America by myself. And I met people instantly every day that were very good friends from the minute I saw them. But at that point, I also realized who just wanted something from me. I met people at the bus stop, in hostels, in random cafes or bars or whatever you want. I met a lot of people, but you see immediately from my previous experience who is there because they want to be with you and who is there because they want something from you. And trust me, when you travel solo, you learn to trust your gut way faster. Working on board was exactly the same. I could tell instantly who truly respected me as a person, me as a cabin crew, but also my colleagues. And that comes from colleagues, both colleagues and passengers, but I could immediately see who respected me and who just saw us as someone that was serving drinks. It wasn't just in the words, but it was in the way they behaved towards us, if they smiled, whether they looked you in the eyes. And I know that in some cultures, it is appropriate to look someone in the eye, and the other culture, it might not be appropriate, but you could just sense it in such a strong way. This taught me that energy does not lie. And here's a tip for you. If you want to know how genuine people are, look at how they treat other people. I can say with my hand on my heart that I only have friends that respect other people with other jobs, different cultures. But if I look at you and I can see that you're not being very respectful to someone who is cleaning our hotel, then no offense, but I do not want to be friends with you, because that's where the truth come out. The third one is understanding cultures, such an important one, especially nowadays. Coming from such a small town in Belgium, in such a small country, we are very indirect, very closed off, and not gonna say introverts, but if you compare it to other countries, we are pretty sugarcoating and all that, you know what I mean? As a 17-year-old, landing or setting my first footstep in the States was just shocking, because people were loud, they were very social, and I was not used to that at all. And that goes to show that you cross borders and people just immediately change. And at first I thought it was fake, I'm not gonna lie, but then I had a feeling that it was just culture, and that's what shapes us. Because if I would have stayed at home, I would have thought that was normal, that you're supposed to be calm and sugarcoating things, and you cannot share your opinion, you cannot be too loud, you cannot be too this or too that. Whereas the fact that I traveled at that young age by myself, I realized very quickly that it's just a culture thing and it's okay. And backpacking to South America even opened my eyes more. Even traveling to other countries or working as a flight attendant for Emirates opened my eyes in such an amazing way, because giving someone a hand in one country could be so polite, whereas giving it in another country could mean that you're disrespecting them. Same thing goes for eye contact, same thing goes for other hand gestures. Those are things that you genuinely need to know before you travel to another country. So please do your homework before you travel, because there's nothing more that bothers me than people or groups or persons that travel to another country and they just act the way they would act at home. I find that so disrespectful, whether that goes to drinks, food, your clothes. I find it normal that if you travel to another country that you dig a little deeper into the culture of that country and that you try to find out what is actually appreciated there and what isn't. And that is something I learned very early on. The fourth one is stress reveals your character. Oh my god, I saw this a lot of times on board, but also from previous job that I worked, but especially from traveling. Because when you travel, things always go wrong. There's small things that can go wrong. I remember missing buses, arriving at the wrong airport, forgetting my flights, oversleeping, ordering a cab that never came, or anything that you can imagine, like booking wrong hostels. It gives you a sick amount of stress. I panicked a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I panicked because I wanted to call my mom and I was like, oh my god, what do I need to do now? But I was like, she's on the other side of the world. She's not gonna be able to help me. I'm just, if anything, if I call her right now, she's gonna stress me and stress herself out even more. So instead of panicking, I tried to find a solution. Like, what are the options? What are the things that I can actually do to make this better? Because panicking is not gonna help. And that kind of stress really revealed me of what I was made of, because I've been used to hearing Aisha's so quiet, she's so on her own, she's so introvert, she will never be able to travel by herself, she'll never be able to do this or do that, or people will walk over her. And by traveling by myself, I proved not only them wrong, but I proved myself that I was able to do that. Same with onboard situations, delayed flights, rude passengers, missing flights, anything you can imagine. There's a lot of stress on board, even when it's something very mundane, like not having the dish that person wants. Trust me, there's people that really stress you out for that. And that's when people show their true self, whether that's colleagues or whether that's passengers. Some laugh it off, some stay patient, and then there's others that completely lose it. This taught me that stress is actually the quickest way to see someone's true character, including your own. So next time that you're in a stressful situation, don't panic. Hold a mirror up into your face and ask yourself, like, what am I doing wrong? What can I do better? And where can I grow? The fifth and last one is it builds life skills that will last you a lifetime. Solo traveling at the age of 17 taught me that I was much more independent and much more mature at the age of 17 than a lot of my friends back home. Backpacking at the age of 21 taught me how to be adaptable, how to solve problems very fast, and working as a cabin crew for 6 years taught me how to be very, very extremely patient, but also very resilient, and how to read people faster than any psychology book ever could. These are skills I use every day now, whether that's in relationships, in my job, in the way I behave towards other people. I take all of those lessons that I learned the hard way with me very close to my heart, because I have the utmost respect for other people, their situations. I am an empath. I have a lot of empathy. I don't have hate in my body, like not a single bone in my body knows how to hate someone or something. And that's because I understand where people's actions and where people's behavior come from. And that is something that I learned through traveling. Most of the things I learned through traveling. But the best part is you do not need to travel by yourself to learn something like this. If something, like, I would highly recommend you do, but I know that that's not possible for everyone. You could start with something small, like take your book, go to a bar or go to a cafe in the neighborhood and just read it over there. Take yourself to the movies. Take yourself out for dinner. All those things are things that are pushing you out of your comfort zone, because being independent and being by yourself and being mature, you can compare it with a muscle, and you need to stretch that muscle a lot. Looking back I wouldn't trade anything that I've learned the past couple of years, because I've learned a lot of things that I would have never learned if I would just stay in school or if I would do anything else with my life. But if you ever thought about traveling by yourself, take this as your sign. I 100% support you in this. If you want to travel by yourself and you have some questions, let me know down in the comments below. And also, if you have done solo traveling before, let me know what is something that you've surprisingly learned throughout the years of you doing that. See ya!